Marvel took what was looked at as C plus and B minus superheroes and turned them into the greatest film franchise ever.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes, is not just the characters, but I think it speaks volumes to the trust that the world has placed in Marvel Studios and their ability to give us good content.
Well, and some of it is a little bit of ramming it down your throat too. Like this is what we're putting out there. We're not backing down on it too. I mean, they've made their own fair share of stinkers. I mean, I'd put a lot of DC movies above a lot of Marvel movies, even some of the, but they stuck to their guns with it is the big problem. Whereas the flip-flopping and waffling and stuff, and that DC did, and
a lot of people hated
with Batman or Superman.
A lot of people hated on like Iron Man 2 and stuff, and if they would have just backed down after that, you wouldn't have what you have now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Phase 1 and Phase 2. Yeah, the movies are fun. Avengers was really good. Winter Soldier was great. Iron Man was great. You have a lot of really good films, but you have a lot of mediocrity in Phase 1 and 2 as well. But you look at Phase 3, and off the top of my head, I don't think there was a movie that I actually disliked. I thoroughly enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
And I think some point, and I just think at some point after Thor 2 and Iron Man 3, they went, we need to stick to these guys' we need to make them true to themselves.
They had a common goal they were pushing to after that. They're like, okay, we know now we're going to get to Thanos. And so what do we got to do to push towards that?
Yeah, and to get to get Captain America to pick up his hammer, the things people want to see. Like I said, when I'm talking about the Omega Protocol stuff, where I want to see these characters or what their relationships are going to be, the plot is almost secondary to what I'm shooting for, with something else,
Great.
Build the characters from there.
Great example. That's.
I mean, the later phase stuff, like I was Captain Marvel. My kids fell asleep through it. I mean,
to me,
out the gates, it's pretty weak, and it had a fun soundtrack, but then some of it, plot hole loop stuff didn't make as much sense. I was
disappointed that Coulson wasn't in there more. I was really excited for them to put him in there, and then he was like a cameo.
Yeah.
But the scroll stuff and the I'm losing his name. Ben Mendelsohn. Everything he touches is gold. He
made me more excited for Secret Invasion, if that's even possible.
Yeah. The flipping the scrolls around was awesome about that movie. So I can't say, but other than that,
and then that stinger at the end of Far From Home.
Nick Fury and Captain Marvel were disappointing to me, but the scrolls and how that was handled was awesome.
Oh yeah, and that stinger, like you just said at the end of Far From Home, man, that was nuts. Yeah, that was, and it's funny because I remember watching that movie at the movie theater, and I just remember looking at one of my friends, and if you watch the movie again, you'll kind of pick up on, Nick Fury is a Skrull. You pick up on it about halfway through just because he's not as angry. Mm-hmm. And that sounds kind of weird, but I remember looking at my buddy during the movie, and I was just like, Nick Fury just seems old and angry now. Something like that. And so when it was revealed he was a Skrull, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
But no, what I was going to say is how would you guys, because I've thought about this too, I would really like to see the Fantastic Four, because the nice thing about the Fox deal with Disney is it didn't just open up the door to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, but it opened up the door to their universes. And I think the Fantastic Four, they were Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, you might know the answer, but they were the first comic Marvel Studios. They're considered the first family.
The first family.
Right.
Human Torch and Captain America were before, I think, technically in timelines, and then brought back. But as a Marvel universe, I think Fantastic Four was.
Yeah, they were one of the first ones created. So you take. I'm sorry. Yes,
Well, before, it was called Timely Comics, and I can't remember. It was like Martin Goodman or something like that. Stanley's uncle is who ran it, and Jack Kirby had worked for him and everything, and where they had created Captain America, and then you had the Human Torch, which was an android at the time. And, but like people were getting
Namor
tired
too,
of
maybe.
Yeah, Namor as well. Yep. And
Namor came before Aquaman. Random fact.
Oh yeah. But then there was a time where people were getting tired of superhero comics, and then like Stan Lee at the time was the only writer, and they were having him write like stupid, silly comics here and there. And so all the superheroes were gone. Captain America was a thing of the past and all that. And Stan Lee was getting sick of writing the stupid stuff. And so he tells his wife, he goes, you know what, I think I'm going to quit. I want to be a serious writer and everything, and I just don't want to do this anymore. And so his wife was like, okay, well, how about this? Before you do, why don't you just write the story that you've always wanted to write? And, you know, write that as a comic. What's the worst they're going to do? Fire you? So he writes Fantastic Four, brings it into his uncle, and then boom, it was history from there. And then Fantastic Four comes out, and then they were just collecting steam.
Oh yeah, once they started to see the money in new superheroes, they were probably like.
And then they were popular again. I think there was also something in there where like DC was doing like Justice League and stuff, so there was the suggestion of maybe making a team like Justice League. So that's where you got him making a team of Fantastic Four and stuff.